See, I brought up. Is this the James Toney?
What's up? BDA, what's going on?
Hey James, first of all, let me tell you, it's an honor talking to you. I mean, it's not every day we get legends like you in the BDA boxing arena. Let me tell you something. People love to say, throw the word legend around. Oh, this guy's a legend. This guy's a legend. The other day, I met a guy in a bar, and people call him the legend. He's not a legend. He gets thrown around too loosely. You, my friend, on the other hand, bona fide legend. How are you, James?
I'm good. How are you?
Oh, sensational. Well, we're up here in Canada. Where are you right now? Which city?
I'm in Ann Arbor, Michigan.
Oh, okay. Oh, so you're
by Detroit.
So you're experiencing the cold just like we are, huh?
For sure, definitely.
Well, I hope you're not freezing any particular areas that are more sensitive, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, I got you. I got you.
All right, James. First of all, yeah, go ahead, go ahead.
Yes.
I'd be remiss if I didn't ask you about, you know, every time people mention James Toney, invariably they mention your greatest enemies inside the ring, right? We're talking, well, let's talk about the guy who's going to be fighting tomorrow, Roy Jones Jr. He's 49 years old. He's going to be fighting. He says it's his last fight. I know you fought, you know, after, you know, during your 40s. So my question to you is, I mean, can you relate to what Roy Jones is going through right now, that he still wants to keep on fighting, but at the same time he knows it's...
definitely. I have dreams about it every night, but you know, it is what it is. I'll fight if I really want to, but hey, it has to be the right fight.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, absolutely, man. Now, this is something I've always wanted to ask you, which is, you always had that, you know, I've seen your sparring videos, and you talk to people during sparring. You know, you love to talk to them, and you love to spar a lot. And in my opinion, or in my experience, people that love to spar genuinely love to fight. Now, is that something that pre-boxing, were you in a lot of confrontations, or were you a laid-back guy?
Could you please repeat that, because you kind of breaking up?
Okay, yeah. You like to spar a lot, and in my experience, people that spar a lot like to fight. So before you got into boxing, were you a fighter, or were you a laid-back guy that just found boxing and said, this is what I want to do all the time?
No, I've been boxing since I was 10 years old.
Jeez.
It's just after my football career was over with in high school because of grades, I fell back on boxing as my favorite sport because I wanted to play in the NFL.
Mm-hmm.
That was my initial goal. But boxing, it worked out for me. It's been great to me. It's given me a lot of great things. I met a lot of great people.
Now, that's the thing. I had heard that you used to play football. How much did you weigh when you were playing?
When I was playing football, I was 205. But I turned pro at 157.
Jesus.
And the reason why, because everybody could tell me I was too small, they crushed me and all that. I was listening to the wrong people instead of listening to myself.
Mm-hmm. Now, how did you lose that weight?
Always the constant battle with the weight. That's why.
Yeah, I imagine, man. I can imagine. Now, how did you manage to go from 205 to 157? Was that over the process of years, or?
No, it took me 1 year to be exact. I was running, sweat boxes. I mean, it was crazy. Whatever it was, I did.
Jesus. Okay, so about 50-something or 40-something pounds in the span of a year.
Yeah.
That's actually pretty good, man. I mean, hey, boxing will do that to you. If you're training every day.
And that's why I fought so much, twice a month. Because I had to keep I was always in a constant battle with my weight. My weight was my biggest battle.
Yeah, I can.
Not the fight.
Yeah, I can imagine, man. Now, I've seen your sparring videos, and I saw a video. There's a video on YouTube from the Kronk gym, and you're sparring the murderous punching Gerald McClellan, and he couldn't land a glove on you.
Could you repeat that, please? I can't hear you.
Okay, yeah, you were sparring Gerald McClellan in a video that I saw on YouTube,
Yeah.
and at the Kronk gym, and he couldn't land a glove on you. He couldn't land on you.
Yeah, but Joe was an exceptional fighter. He could fight, he push hard, but just that day, it was like I said, I took names and numbers and whooped ass.
Yeah, man. Because let me tell you something. I mean, did you used to train at the Kronk gym all the time, or did you just go there for sparring?
No, I was going there for when I need easy work. I go to Kronk.
Yeah, because people always say the Kronk gym was like going into hell, because you had to go down those stairs and it was like literally descending into hell. But you're saying you had an easy time over there?
It was. But it was hot because I like training in hot conditions anyway. So when I went in there, it was easy work for me because everybody was. When I came in the gym, everybody would be like, "Oh, fresh meat, fresh meat." I said, "Oh, fresh meat." I live bait, baby. I live bait. I'm coming. I'm kicking ass and taking names last. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
And that's what I went in there to do. And I did it every day. Every time I went in there, first thing I do, I open the door and say, "Whose ass will get whooped next?"
Now, who were some of the names other than McClellan that you sparred at the Kronk?
Fabian Williams, Darnell Knox.
Mm-hmm. And now, did Emmanuel Stewart ever come over to you and tell you, "Hey, listen, you have to take it easy on my guys. You're lowering their confidence too much"?
No, Emmanuel told he went around telling the reporters that he gave me the jacket. He didn't give me shit. I never wanted to be a cockfighter. I wanted to start my own legacy.
Mm-hmm.
I know Kronk is Tommy's house. Tommy Harris built Kronk himself.
Right.
I'm telling you, he's a legend. He built the gym on his back.
Now, when you sparred those guys down there, and you said that they said fresh meat, but you said that they said fresh meat. When did they start saying? When did they realize, okay, this guy is on a bit of a different level than we're used to?
No, they saying fresh meat means I'm gonna get my ass whooped. They thought, but like I said, I went from fresh meat to live bait.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, now let's talk about your style, because nowadays everybody talks about, you know, Floyd Mayweather, but real boxing fans know that it was James Toney who was doing that way before.
I started. Floyd used to come in the gym. Floyd used to come in the gym and watch me train.
Uh-huh.
He used to ask me questions how I did this and how I did that. Floyd, don't get me wrong. Don't get me wrong. I'm not knocking Floyd. He's a tremendous fighter. He did things his way.
Mm-hmm. Now,
but if you look at how I did, it's the right way. You stay in the pocket. You don't leave the pocket with your chin in the air.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and we never really saw you backing up all that much. You were always in the pocket.
I don't know how to do that. It's against my religion.
It's against your religion. But
yeah.
Now that's the thing, because most people don't realize how hard it is to stay relaxed.
Well, you know, to me at first it was hard because when I first started doing it, I was taking a lot of butt whoopings.
Mm-hmm.
But you learn. That's how you get better. You come back the next day. If you get the heart, you'll come back the next day and try again. I was 18 years old. It just everybody who did me wrong, I got them.
Well, you know, I don't know. Were you friends with Fernando Vargas?
Yeah, that's my guy. That's my guy. I love Fernando.
Because I remember he told a story about how when he was an amateur, he sparred against Yuri Boy Campos, and at that time Campos was a professional fighter, and he really took Vargas to school during their sparring session, And Vargas said that he cried afterwards because he was so frustrated. And then when they finally met in the professionals, he took out all that anger from that sparring session and used it to beat your boy Campos. So it's almost like you were using the same thing, like that frustration from not doing well in sparring initially, you used it to fuel your career in a sense.
Yeah, but I can agree with him on that because everybody who whooped me up, like Dwight Braxton, Dwight Davidson, Willie Edwards, everybody who whooped me, beat up in the gym, I made sure my older and mature, I got them back and got back even worse.
Now that's the thing. Goal. Now that's the thing. Explain to us how professional sparring goes, because obviously you're not going all out, but you are trying to prepare for a fight. So how far would you go in a sparring session normally?
Let me tell you something. James Toney don't believe in that. Hey, what you do in the gym is what you gonna do in the fight. I'm trying to like everybody in training. If you ask anybody who was in camp with me, they will tell you I'm trying to knock you out. I'm talking about your mama. I'm talking about your daddy. I'm doing whatever I can do to degrade you and knock you out.
Oh yeah, that's the James Toney approach, and we've seen it on YouTube. There's clips out there of that. But now let me ask you this: after the session is done, after the sparring is done, do you talk to these guys, or is it still a little bit like nah? There's an edge, there's an edge there that you don't get too close to them?
No, when I first came to camp, I don't speak to them. It's just usually my handlers and everybody else around me talk to them. But after a while, if they do a good job in sparring, I say, "What's up? How you doing?" Blah blah blah. Say, ain't no hanging. I don't do that. Friends in camp, I don't believe in that.
Yeah, because you had to prepare. Like the way you were saying it is, you were going to war, and so you had to prepare for war, right?
So what? You bring up? Say it again.
Okay, yeah. The way you saw it is you were preparing for war, and you didn't have time to fuck around during sparring.
Yep.
Yeah, that's the way. That's one way to see it, man.
Yep. Every day is a war in a gym. I'm gonna make you bleed. But I had $5,000 bounty on my head. Whoever can drop me will get $5,000.
Ah, okay.
You can do it.
Yeah, I heard Bernard Hopkins used to do that too.
If you look at every film, every sparring session or transition Floyd Mayweather had, it said he watched it all for me. He'll all it for me.
That's interesting, man. That's interesting because now let me ask you about who did you borrow from a little bit? Did you watch Georgie Benton back when you were starting out, or like where did you get that style? How did you develop it?
I got from Archie Moore, Ezra Charles, JoJo Walcott.
Oh yeah,
and the greatest of all time, Sugar Ray Robinson.
So in other words,
Ali is the greatest heavyweight of all time. Ray Robinson is the greatest fighter of all time.
Absolutely, man. Absolutely. And again, not to bring Bernard Hopkins again up too much, but he had a similar. Was that?
Bernard Hopkins. You know what? I'm gonna say like this. Bernard is a good dude. I like him personally, but as a fighter, he sucks. Well, very boring.
We're gonna talk about that if we have time, about that fight that never happened between you and him back in 2003. The fight that shoot. Was that?
Because he was smart and scared at the same time. Because you know why?
Why?
The reason why the fight never happened because he was only gonna get $5 million to fight me. $5 million. I took off from a fight and gave him 10. So hey, he took the $10 million. He got paid and looked good doing it.
So you're saying it was good business, but it wasn't.
And plus, he was scared to fight me. And then anyway, if it wouldn't fought me, I had a whole bunch of lumps on his head.
Well, now, okay, let's talk about fights also that never happened, because back in I think 2004 or 2005, you were supposed to fight Jermil McCline. Now, that would have been quite a fight because you're 5'9", I believe, or 5'10", and he's listed as being 6'5".
Yeah, 5'9", and he's 6'10".
Jesus Christ! I mean, we're
No, sorry, 6'7".
yeah, 6'7". I mean, realistically, how were you? Like, would you have stayed in the pocket against him?
Like I said, I would knock him out too. It don't matter. Look at Sam Peters. Sam Peters was 6'5".
Yeah.
Don Gwynn was 6'6". John Reed is 6'4". Everybody I fought was bigger than me. You see how easy I was knocking them out and handling them. I'm in the ring. I'm the top dog. Period. Flat out. I made the fight the perfect fighter. He made me. Nobody else. Period. I ain't scared nobody. Period. That's ever.
Yeah. Nobody doubts that you weren't scared, man.
Look what I did. I turned pro at 157. Won the heavyweight title 5 times. You know, I won the heavyweight title 5 times. Won 14 belts in 6 divisions. Look, ain't nobody has ever done that besides the smaller weight guys. Ain't nobody never came from middleweight all the way to heavyweight and stayed. They usually go to heavyweight and go back because they scared to get hurt.
Now that's the thing, man.
Roy Jones Jr.
Now that's
we talk about this guy all day because he's a fraud. Everybody know y'all call him a great fighter. Okay, he may be a good fighter. He's not the greatest. Because if you're a great fighter, you fight everybody else twice, but you don't give the man which is me, a rematch. Why you never give me a rematch?
Yeah, that's it.
He's a coward.
Yeah, that's it.
Because you know the first time when we fought, he called me while I wasn't ready. No more. Period.
Now the legend is that you had to lose something like 20+ pounds or something 2 weeks before the fight. Is that correct?
28 pounds. 28 pounds. Really that. But all together, I had to lose 44 pounds before the fight.
Wow. Jesus.
I was too busy enjoying myself.
Well, that's the thing. Like, how much time did you have to train total? Like, did they tell you in advance, or what happened there?
Well, what happened was I gave Bob Ram a timetable if I was going to happen. I gave to him my birthday, August 24th. I gave to him my birthday, August 24th, and then I said, if you don't let me know about my birthday, I'm gone. Me and the boy, we gone. So August 24th came and went. Didn't get no call. Jack didn't tell me nothing. Here we are, September 17th. I'm in Jamaica. Next thing you know, I get a call from Jackie saying the fight's done. We got the money. We can do it. All right, Jackie. Hey, chilling. I'm fat as hell. You know? And, she said the magic word. $9 million. I was like, okay, I'll be on the line. When I got home, train in the sweat box and run. And by the time I got to the fight, I was weak as hell because I didn't go to my regular training.
Now, I hate to ask, but looking back at it now, like what's it's been 14 years now since that fight. Would you have it's been 14 years now since that fight. Would you, looking back at it now?
No, it's been 24 years.
Oh yeah. Sorry, what am I talking about? 14 years? No. Yeah, 20 years or 24 actually. Anyway, would you do things differently now, looking back at it?
I look back at it, and I wish I would listen to everybody around me and said, put up the fight, don't take the fight. Get him when you're ready, get in shape, and tear his head off his shoulders. But you know me young, dumb, and thought of everything, and I paid the price. I lost. I made Roy Jones. Point blank. And I'm the only one who break it.
Right. All right, that's not supposed to be.
Plus, if you look at the fight again, he told everybody he annihilated me. He ran. He was too scared to sit there and punch. He ran. He didn't even hurt me. In the knockdown, he stepped on my foot.
Now let me ask you this, because you said that your Jackie, she was your manager, right? Jackie, what was her name again?
Yeah.
Yeah, she was your manager, and she called you up and she said, "Hey, listen, $9 million, get over here now." What's the type of pressure that's on fighters to take certain fights that they're not ready for at the time? Like as a boxer, have you ever said no to a promoter, or do you have to do it because of the money, or how does that work?
Let me tell you something. I'm James Toney,
Mm-hmm.
the one and only. I don't turn down nothing but my collar. Sometimes I don't do that.
Right.
Look, what I did, I should like I said, but I didn't. I paid the ultimate price. I lost to a guy. Who I should have never lost to. And you know my motto. Everybody know my motto. Is I fight anybody, anytime, anywhere.
Okay, now let's talk about your fights, because let's go back to the sparring. We mentioned Jamil McCline, that you were gonna fight him, and the fight never happened. Who was the biggest? And when I say biggest, I mean literally in size. What was the size of the biggest guy you ever sparred as a heavyweight?
I'm gonna say Francois Botha.
Ah, the White Buffalo.
Yeah, the White Buffalo. You know who he is.
And he was a big guy too. Like, he was the biggest guy you ever sparred, or strongest?
He's one of the biggest and strongest guys, but it was easy work though. Easy work. Look, my boxing IQ is like no other.
Mm-hmm.
I can sit there in the middle of the ring, make you miss, tear your ass up all day. Like, while I'm in great shape.
Now, in 2000 or around that time, you were training with Freddie Roach, and I think I might be wrong, but wasn't Tyson training with Freddie Roach at that time as well?
Hello?
Yeah, can you hear us?
I lost you.
Can you hear me now? Can you hear me now? Can you hear me?
Yep.
Okay, yeah. You were training with Freddie Roach in the early 2000s, and so was Mike Tyson. Did you ever spar with Mike Tyson?
Nope, he wouldn't let me.
Nah.
It would have been great. But see, the thing is, Mike Tyson, he operates on fear. He wants to fear everybody.
Mm-hmm.
If you get somebody like me who's just like him, he don't want this because the men doesn't come out. Great fighter. I admire him. I love watching him fight. Fight with him, hands down, James Toney all day.
But wait a minute.
You see what I did to Holyfield? That was easy work. I had fun. It was child's play.
But you said they didn't let you spar with him. Who didn't let you spar with him? He didn't want to, or Freddie Roach didn't want to?
No, Mike was never in camp while I was in camp.
Ah, okay. So there was never that intersection there. Okay, so now let's talk about your fights, man, because you took on Michael Nunn back in, I believe, 1991, and
yeah,
I think it was Dan Goosen. No, was it Dan Goosen or Joe Goosen, the trainer? Which one is the trainer again?
No, Goosen was the trainer. Dan Goosen was the promoter.
Yeah, okay, yeah. Joe said in an interview that Michael Nunn was the most talented guy he had ever come across, or one of the most talented. And so you took on him. The guy was what, 6 foot something or 5'11"? He looked like a giant compared to you. And in the early rounds, he was giving you trouble, man. He was circling around the ring. He was evading your power shots. What was the strategy? What was the strategy going into that fight and going into the later rounds?
No, he had me so mad on my game. I threw away my game plan. I was trying to knock him out one shot earlier in the fight. But then if you look at the fight again, in the 10th round, Bill Miller stepped in. He he slapped me so hard. Yeah, get back in the game. We ain't coming for this. Go back to what we worked on. Our game plan was to work on our body shots. Go to the body, slow him down, and then catch him. And excuse me, after round 6, after I dig to his body, slowly, 11 round came. Guess what happened? Guess what happened?
What? You knocked him out, right?
No, he ain't pay his electric bill. His lights went out. Snore.
Right. By the way, hold on. Give me a Bucho. You're telling me you gave me some information right now. At what time?
Yep.
Bucho, you there?
Yeah. Yeah. Can you hear me?
Yeah. At what time At what time does Mr. James Toney have to leave?
I don't know. He can tell us.
All right. Well,
I'm leaving. I'm gonna give you five more minutes.
Oh, 5 more minutes. Okay, so we gotta get to it. All right, man. We gotta get to your greatest hits. So you knock out Mike McCollum, and then you took on Iran Barkley, very tough guy. Knocked out Tommy Hearns, dropped and won a decision against him.
No, I didn't fight Tommy Hearns.
No, I said Iran Barkley. Iran Barkley.
Yeah, I got Iran Barkley.
Who knocked out Tommy Hearns. And when you fought Iran Barkley, that has to be one of the most beautiful performances of offense and defense put together. What would you consider that to be like that you were in the game, or which performance would you consider to be the best James Toney ever?
The best James Toney ever was for Holyfield, because I was at my right weight, where I should have been all the time. But Barkley fight was a great fight because he had been my idol, and I told him, I'm gonna do with you. I'm gonna do to you what you did at the time, but worse. And I got it.
Now, in that Holyfield fight, he cracked you, I think, in the 4th or 3rd round with a huge right hand, and you didn't even buckle. When did you know?
I told you. Well, I told you. I told you it was easy work.
Right now, but what my question is? My question is, when in your career or coming up in your career, did you know that you had a granite chin? Because you were defensively sound, so how did you know if you had a good chin or not?
I always knew I had a great chin because I don't depend on nobody but myself. It's me against the world while I'm in there, and I feel like can't even stop me.
Right.
Can't even penetrate me. I'm the one. I'm in the ring with the guy. I'm the boss. I'm gonna do what I want to do. I'm a bully, the Broad Street bully, baby. I'm coming through you. Okay,
now James, people in the chat before you leave, they're asking me to ask you about the Vasily Giro fight, 2003 Cruiserweight Championship. Cruiserweight Championship.
Oh yeah, fun. Giro was a great fight. He came in cocky, strong, young guy. He had 32 knockouts, and I told him before the fight, I said, I'm gonna ruin your life. And what happened? I broke everything. I broke ribs. I broke his cheekbone, fractured his jaw. I did him ugly.
And you dropped him too. Now let me ask you this. Did you ever feel his body shots during the fight?
No, you know what? I trained so hard for that fight. Like, for Holyfield, I'm prepared because everybody who I spar with, and I trained hard because I know he could never hurt me. Yeah, yes, he can punch. I'm gonna tell you, he can punch. But you know, it was nothing stop me from doing what I had to do.
Man, there's so many questions I gotta ask you, man. But one of my personals was, you're from the state of Michigan. Chris Bird is also from the state of Michigan. Did you guys ever come close to fighting for real in the ring, or?
Well, we supposed to fight one time, but he blew it. He fought the night I fought Dominic Wynn. He fought somebody on undercard. I forgot his name, but he didn't look good, and that blew the chances of us fighting.
Now, are you two still friends?
And I ain't like him. I didn't like him at all then. I ain't like nobody. When I'm fighting, I don't like nobody who's a heavyweight or middleweight. I ain't trying to be friends with nobody when I'm boxing.
Right. Right. If they were in your weight division,
Yeah.
you didn't like him. All right. So James, yeah, go ahead. All right. So James, I want
Go
to.
ahead. I get 5 more. Shoot, 5 more. Go ahead.
Was that?
Hello.
Yeah. Can you hear me, James?
I give you 5 more minutes. Go ahead. MTV raps. Go ahead, rap.
MTV raps. All right, for James, first of all, thank you for being with us again. I'm looking at the comment section because I want to get some of the questions from the people in. Okay.
Okay. Go ahead.
Somebody is asking me to ask you about the Jewish star that you used to have on your trunks. I already know the answer to that one, but hey, can you give it to the people?
Oh, that was for Jackie.
Uh-huh. Yeah, your ex-manager at the time, right?
Huh?
Your ex-manager. Now, okay, I gotta ask you, what happened in the second Samuel Peter fight? Because he seemed to be...
What happened?
Yeah, because he seemed to be lighter on his feet, and he tried to box you from the outside. Would you say that was the way to beat you, or the way to survive against you?
That was after the first fight. You saw the first fight. I beat the brakes off him.
Uh-huh.
I fractured his jaw. At the second fight, he was trying his best to stay away from me. You know, don't forget, I'm the small guy now. I'm only 5'9". I'm a midget. And he's 6'4". He shouldn't be running for me, but he ran the whole 12 rounds. He didn't want he didn't want the action. He did not want none of the action at all.
Hey, that first fight against Samuel Peter has to be one of the most entertaining heavyweight fights too. You stood in the pocket against him, and you made him retreat in the second fight. So I think
he paid the price. I broke him up.
That's right.
I ruined him.
That encapsulates the style of James Toney and what you represent in the ring. So James, I want to thank you again for having joined us. So what's next for you in your career? Last question. What are you doing up to right now?
Right now, James Toney Promotions, we up and coming.
All right.
I'm an international fighter now. International promoter now. Coming out. Cigars. We have suits. My cousin suit line coming up. We're working hard. You know, my whole team. John out the Pops, he's working hard. My fiance, Erica, my dude Gerard, she's doing everything with all the other endeavors we doing. So you know, we make things happen.
All right. So is there a website that we can put up for you to promote your clothing line or your promotional line?
Yes. Go to JamesToney.com.
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 All right, so we'll be putting that up in the description. James, a million
Please do. To everybody, go check it out. Go buy the gear. We have the freshest. And we have the freshest gear that everybody can get. And also, I will be at the Hall of Fame. I see James Toney and see all the legends. We're having fun with party. We're knocking out the park.
Absolutely. James, a million thanks for being with us. You're a legend, and I just want to tell you it was an honor talking to you and a real pleasure, man. Thank you.
Hey, next time we do it, we're gonna do an hour. All right?
Oh yeah, absolutely, man.
Set up time, all right?
All right, man. Thanks a lot, James. Take care.
Yes, sir.
See you, everybody. All right, so there you have it, the great James Toney. I want to thank. He said it was his fiance Erica who contacted us, and I also want to thank Hamed, who somehow put this together as well. I don't know how he contacted them. I guess Hamed just talks to everybody via Facebook. So I'm sorry I couldn't get through to all the questions, but as you saw, our time was limited, and it took me by surprise. I mean, Hamed told us 5 minutes before we were going to do the podcast with James Toney. But again, a million thanks to James Toney for coming on. And if we can do it for an hour the next time, because I see you people have a million questions, I have a million questions, but I didn't know which one to get to first, because Bucho told me we only had about 5 minutes with him, so pretty good experience, man. You get to meet your heroes every once in a while when you do this.
Bucho, connection, man.
Was that?
We need to fix the connection.
Yeah,
because over here in Canada it's snowing like crazy. I don't know if that affects the connection.
But it's interesting. Last Saturday the connection was fine, but on Wednesday when we did it last Wednesday, well, it was also breaking up. So, I don't know what's going on here.
I'm not sure.
But anyway, that was a great James Toney. And I asked, for anybody that wasn't here at the beginning, I asked him about Roy Jones fighting tomorrow, and he said that he sympathizes with Roy Jones. But as you can see, he still has that animosity about what happened to in the Roy Jones fight. And I don't blame him, man. If they call you, like he said, 2 or 3 weeks before the fight, and they offer you $9 million, that's, in other words, that's saying they're pressuring you to take the fight. And he had to lose 40 pounds total, he said. My goodness. I can't even lose 15 pounds in a month, man.